Alright, let's talk about blogging for physicians. Blogging allows physicians a platform to discuss issues that affect healthcare. Blogging can be like writing articles and stories for the media, or can be more akin to journal entries. Intent for blogging needs to be thoroughly thought out before, because it requires a great deal of preparation and follow-up. So what do I mean by that is, if you're going to blog, figure out how you're going to blog. Are you going to blog as a physician, or are you going to blog as yourself? And if you blog as yourself, you need to figure out what things you're going to write about, because it can be a little bit more eclectic, like in the last video had said. If you blog for yourself and occasionally talk about healthcare information, it could get a little muddy in the waters, because you have to figure out who your audience is. So a lot of this information kind of goes back to, writing articles and stories for an audience. If you're writing a blog, if you're keeping a blog for yourself as a everyday person, not as a profession, you want to state somewhere in your biography that this is a personal blog. I just happen to be a doctor, and that my opinions and my thoughts are my own. This is just for entertainment and whatnot. So blogging for physicians for a personal account, that is something that you can totally do, and you can connect with anyone that way. Bloggers can and have become professional writers, journalists, industry gurus, and media celebrities, all because they share something vital to the public. So if you are not going to blog as just as an everyday person, you're going to blog as a healthcare professional, you have to change your mindset a little bit, because you have to change how you write for your audience. Because are you going to write for patients? Are you going to write a blog that has direct applications that patients can take something away from? Maybe not even your own patients, but just like the public in general. So maybe it's a public health blog. Or maybe you're going to write and keep a blog that is dedicated to just physicians to see. So the audience and the language is very much different, and it's meant to have an audience for other healthcare providers. Or maybe it is an opinion blog as a healthcare professional, and you are sharing your opinions and thoughts and either agreeing or disagreeing with current trends and policies, and you're using it as a platform to voice your thoughts and opinions. Why would you want to do that? Well, you may not be the only person who has these same thoughts and opinions on these healthcare trends and policies, and you can use a blog as a way as to rally those people to maybe figure out a way to change things. So blogs can be very effective for change. The downside to that is that blogs are also targeted by people who are called trolls. And you'll hear this term used a lot. The trolls are people who like to go through blog posts, go through social media, and just cause problems. They just like to cause a lot of problems and issues, and their comments are not helpful, and then there is just nothing what they're doing and nothing how they're contributing is doing anything but except to cause problems. And they may agree with you, they may not agree with you in your opinions and your thoughts, but they're just there to cause problems, and they are a constant problem everywhere on the internet. Not just with blogging, but social media in general. But then you have a third type of person that you will have encountered, a professional blog, or other professionals who don't agree with you. And those can be some interesting conversations. In the sake of keeping professionalism, you will have comment sections open for your blog, and you might invite comments in a way that facilitates the conversation. So as long as you're still progressing the conversation about a particular topic, you invite comments for people to disagree with you and to share their thoughts and views on things. Some people who do this are actually progressive. They may disagree with you, but they also may keep the conversation going. Others, unfortunately, will disagree with you and will not see reason to keep the conversation going, and it kind of de-evolves quickly into a no-win situation. So why would you do this as a physician? Why would you open yourself up to this kind of kind of scenario where you could possibly get nothing done. Well, it's a risk, and it can totally backfire. I will say that it can totally backfire. But some tips on to make sure how you can make sure that your blog stays legal is to never talk about patient information. Always keep with HIPAA compliancy about how you talk with anything related to patients. Many physicians will talk in much generalities and dehumanize, de-identify anything that they might have encountered if they're talking about a particular incident. But still, you can, if it's identifiable as a patient issue, you're in the wrong. You are breaking compliancy. So that's one thing that can be a bad issue with blogging. The other thing is that you have patients who don't agree with you, the public that doesn't agree with you, other professionals that don't agree with you, and then you're having to answer emails and comments and basically dealing with the fallout of what you had to say. And that can be really tough because why would you just want to put yourself through how your thoughts and feelings are and your evidence to claim something and then have people tear it down. This happens every single day. You're not unique in that respect. But you got to think about the risks and rewards. If you are blogging about a particular issue that you feel does need to be talked about, keep doing it. Naturally you're going to find allies and people who are interested and feel that your information and that your blog is a resource for them. And it is a risk and reward, it is a give and take, more so than any other social network. Whereas Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, some of the bigger popular social networks are shorter term, shorter size postings. Blogging, you can write as much as you want and you can post as in depth as you want. So with all that greater challenge comes with greater risks. So you have to really think long and hard about what type of blog that you're going to have set up, what kind of information that you want to talk about, and then you have to come up with a schedule because you can't just blog whenever you feel like it. You should probably keep a blog pretty regular so that you want people to read your blog and find out about it. The last point here, blogging in healthcare naturally fit as a way to connect with patients and colleagues by sharing your thoughts and perspective. And we just kind of talked about that. If you are creating a blog that you want to share with the public, and I keep saying patients, I should probably be saying public. If you want it to be shared with the public in general, people who are not healthcare professionals, people who don't work in healthcare whatsoever, you have to figure out how and what you're going to talk about, how you're going to approach these topics, and how often you're going to blog about them, how often you're going to write something up about them, because really you're putting yourself on a writing schedule, to keep your blog up to date with new information. The more that you post, the better it looks because it shows that you are active in your convictions and that you want to share those with everybody else. Many times you'll see blogs that kind of go by the wayside because people haven't thoroughly thought out how much time they have to give and dedicate to it. And it does take a lot more dedication and a lot more time and effort than Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, but the rewards are greater. The rewards are definitely greater. So let's talk about blogging and patients, and should really say the public. Having a blog that patients can see and participate in, patients can be a fun way to share your thoughts as a physician in a community. This type of blogging is more personal and less likely to talk about healthcare issues, but still requires a discerning eye. Make sure to emphasize personal blog and not any way related to healthcare. You may also share some basic information that relates to healthcare, like you could say that you're a family physician on your biography page, but any and all contacts or clinical issues need to be ported to the correct channels. Blogging is very open and can lead to a lot of mischaracterization, so think like a publisher, speak like a friend. This is talking a lot about the public type of blogging where you can have anyone come to your blog and read about your things. This type of blog here, you want to have that little disclosure saying this is my personal blog, this is no way related to healthcare. So if you want to talk about your love for your dog and your kids and hiking, you can do that, and you're going to get followers who read that kind of blog posts, and you just happen to be a physician. So if you use this type of a blog approach, this is more for personal reasons, not for professional reasons, and you can really do whatever you need to do with blogging in this respect. And this is actually a great way to get into the habit of coming with a schedule if you're blogging for personal reasons at first before you make a jump into professional. Let's take a look at blogging for healthcare. Blogging as a healthcare professional discussing current healthcare policies and trends is more of a professional blog. You should state clearly your intentions and purpose of your blog so that there is no confusion of professional and personal use. The style of writing here should be more factual and not anecdotal. This type of blog will, without a doubt, get negative feedback. It is just the nature of all professional blogging. Don't take it personally, just check your facts with your thoughts and opinions and respond to naysayers with respect. Professional healthcare blogging can lead to incredible opportunities with the media coverage, invitations for consulting, and other cross-work that progress healthcare in a positive direction. So the positives of having a professional healthcare blog is that you can be seen as a media resource in your area, in your community, in your state, or at the nation at large. Many healthcare bloggers that I know today, some are physicians, some are nurse practitioners, some are physician assistants, some are CEOs at health organizations, some are consultants in the healthcare field, some are health IT developers. So people who are working as a professional blogger in these respects, they are talking about something that's near and dear to their heart that they know something professionally about. And as long as they are producing quality material and being able to handle negative feedback with respect, the opportunities there to be invited to guest blog on other sites, like Kevin MD is a great example. I know many people who have guest blogged on his site and is seen as a resource for a lot of physicians. You can also be contacted to be part of a television interview or be part of any sort of media interview, and that can help shed to light some issues that you see in healthcare that should be talked about some more. So blogging in this respect has a lot more greater rewards and also has greater risk of getting negative feedback. As with any sort of decisive topic, you're going to get feedback from the minor to the very extreme type of feedback, and it's just important that it's not a total reflection on you. It's just how you handle the comments back, how you handle negative feedback, and you can dispel 99% of it. So that is healthcare, blogging for healthcare. So let's talk one more thing about blogging platforms.